think those look crazy. This is from the Elite Finals EU Week 6. Total point 310, 25 eliminated. That's just over the course of those 6 games, of course. And listen, if they're putting on performance like that from game to game, I can't wait to see what they can do at the Invitation.
And it's so exciting to finally get a chance to see them compete on that international space because we are looking as well.
Dit is een betere cup. Je hebt ook die cup die je thuis kan doen, toch?
Ja.
Maar hier is alles eerlijk. Iedereen heeft dezelfde PC, dezelfde FPS. Maar we moeten allemaal met keyboard mee spelen. Dat wel.
Niemand speelt met, ik wil net zeggen, niemand speelt met controller.
Nee, maar kan niet. En allemaal hebben ook gewoon evenveel. Dus als die ene drop hebt, heb die andere ook drop.
Ja.
Allemaal even hoge ping.
You love to see it. Talking about Vadil and Janice, they're currently uncontested.
En dan nog weer mensen roepen, hij bouwt niet, it doesn't build, man.
This duo having a POI uncontested that literally 6 other regions and even your own said, no, you can have that. That's fine.
Listen, this is how it goes, okay? You pretty much get to play all 12.
Mensen springen voor mijn beeld, bro. Ik zie al die namen ook in de beeld. Irritant.
Ja.
And it can be very, very hard when the pressure's on.
Weet niet waar je bent.
The audience is cheering on the stage.
Zie je niet? Je draait naar me toe net.
Ja.
Storm surge, so they have to be confident in those routes, those strategies that they have set.
It's the audience aspect that I'm really curious to see how it impacts a lot of these.
Ik ben curious wat jij onder die trui hebt, bro.
It's another entirely to be in front of a live audience where when you got the cheers going behind you, you never know where that momentum might actually influence you to go next. I wouldn't be surprised for some of these players to really have to hone in on a lot of that mental discipline.
Mograal was hier niet bij, hè, bij Dios.
Distracted by any of the flashing lights or the noise. Just stick to what they know.
That's right.
PSV ook
Another
niet.
duo, Clicks and Duke. We actually got to hear from them via Adam. I mean, look, yeah, their crowd's already going absolutely ham. Clicks fans, rise up. What can we expect from this duo?
Listen, I'm excited, right? Because Clicks has been in
controle altijd trillen, man.
season to season, day to day as an IGL, teaming up with Duke, of course, who is very, very good mechanically. You know, I saw him in the practice room, always grinding the creative, always willing to take on pretty much anybody in that room who wanted to give a shot at seeing if they could take him down.
Hij is altijd aan het grinden in creative. Die kom je vaak tegen in zomers.
This pro player aspect as well as the heavy side of content creation. I think that it is not very easy to maintain both of those lifestyles. And not only that, but when you have somebody as experienced as Duke right next to you, I can understand where the trust comes from this duo. And knowing that they're against Pinkett and Nas, potentially at Fort Jonesy, I do believe we heard them mentioning, though, a possibility of just splitting at the start.
Well, listen, I love the fact that you mentioned content, right? Because, listen, you know, he's used to that, right? He wants the reactions. He posts that content to get reactions. And here, what other better place to get reactions than from a live crowd? So maybe he'll just straight up embrace it. It'll fuel him.
That's right. I have to highlight this duo, man. Your FNCS Asia champions who are competing on this stage. There they are, Zach. Remember, these are FNCS champions. They literally just won the FNCS that passed. And now we will see them compete. When we look at the stats, man, I'm pretty worried for everybody else.
Listen, we were just talking about, you know, Vadil and Janice, who coming into this event are a lot of people's favorites, right? But right there, they had 310 points in one of those Elite Cups. Right there, I saw them have 344. There's a little bit of competition going on there. And as you can see from the camera shot, I love it, the preparation. They literally have printed sheets of spots on the map to help them out in this competition. Anything to give them the edge.
And from the moment that we saw just how much energy they were actually bringing with them on their initial walkout, to the point of them sitting down here now, their faces do not indicate any sort of nervousness. They could very well be a big part of the bamboozlement to take place here with the international flavor.
I mean, they're up against Commandment.
Volgend jaar zijn de kaarten al online, hè. Kan je kopen 2500 euro. Voor de achterste plek, 5000 euro voorste plek.
Listen, I think, you know, ultimately, Commandment and Avery are going to be comfortable over there, right? They did win an FNCS from this POI, and of course, you know, Zygu is landing on the outskirts of that, so I don't even know.
Cola kost daar 50 euro.
But again,
voor de prijzen gaat toch? Die lace chips, die kleine, weet je, die kleine zakjes. Die kost daar gewoon 10 euro. Eén zakje.
They don't want to, and you also have to keep in mind that they're not the only ones that are going to be landing there. There's also going to be Thomas HD and Tripper. That is a notorious favorite spot for them to go, is that south side of the Rave Cave. So curious to see where exactly these zones wind up actually taking these players and how their encounters might actually shape up.
That's right. There is a duo here that is quite terrifying. You know, out of Brazil, not a big
Hoor je
deal.
het? Ze hebben de wons.
The
Is een
fans of
deal.
them are up here in the audience. It's King and Ed. I mean, if you, the crazy thing is, King is one of the most winningest.
Hey,
I mean, the crowd's already going
in het team van
crazy.
VSW.
One of the most winningest, one of the single-handedly craziest mechanical players you will ever see in your life. But when you pair it up with just stopping power, which he also has by himself, he is a one-man army.
Yeah. Listen, of course, King representing FaZe, and shout out and congratulations to Ed. Recently, just days before the event, signing the Team Liquid. Amazing opportunity there. You can see him drip out in the jersey, showing it off here at the Invitational. And what I love most about this is that, you know, again, we're here in person, right? So we can go into the practice room.
Die hebben een mooie webcam, zag je dat? Streamcam, een grote camera.
And listen, they were dominating players from every single region.
But the sheer presence that you have as an international player, and I'm speaking about King here, because the fact that he actually has signs of his name at an NA-based venue, that alone speaks volumes for the kind of impact that he has had on the Fortnite
Zo lang duurt het nog. Let's go, man.
We already know what this means for everybody else. It means they're going to get a free pass into the mid-game. If they are allowed this opportunity, what the heck is everybody else going to do to try and stop them?
Yeah.
Nothing. 12 games of pure aggression from King, and that's what it means. Just straight up, nothing else.
And also, just a really quick note there about Ed. He has been.
Ze spelen allemaal met die performance mode aan, dat hij die muren nog doorzichtig ziet.
Kind of keeps going in that direction. Again, I don't think that international gameplay is going to disappoint by any means. These guys are amped up. They are ready to showcase their representation for their regions.
Ze hebben ook verschillende beeldschermen, niet allemaal hetzelfde beeldscherm.
Nee, ik zag ook eentje met een witte muis en een dinges.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. That's pretty right.
Only, you know, 2 FNCS wins just in the chapter, followed by a third.
TSM. Zo, bestaat dat nog? Daar zat die Daquan Myth.
Some of the league-up teams, they do not like to leave for the towers without at least trying to find a fight. And I think that's going to play into the part, right? Some of the other players laying at the towers might not expect it. You know, maybe they came into this like, oh, we're going to split it. No.
Ik ben benieuwd waar ze landen.
And we've already touched on a little bit of this duo earlier today, but they are, in fact, certified point getters. Because on top of that stat that I gave you guys earlier, we're out of 36 FNCS finals games for Chapter 3. They only went 2 without elims. Well, guess what else? They didn't go a single game in Chapter 3 FNCS finals without scoring points of any capacity throughout every single round. That is insane.
Just a stat line, right? I mean, this is going to like,
deze spel
some of the best
is nu 3 jaar of zo? Nog steeds. Normaal dit is om een jaar of soms om 2 jaar. En dan weet je, dan vergeten ze die spel en dan gaan ze een nieuwe. Dat is Call of Duty, elk jaar gewoon een ander.
Ja.
Maar
listen, some of them, they're looking locked in, right? They're looking like focused. They're not even thinking about the crowd. They don't even see the crowd beyond the monitors right now, which is really, really good for some of them. But I'm telling you, you know, some of them are probably
$45 million goes to Booga!
It is not the same as playing in your room at all. You will have all these lights. You know, maybe the
Ik denk wel dat Booga hem gaat pakken.
The height difference, the chair is a little bit different than what you're used to, and it all plays into part, you know, how well you're going to do. I remember as a player myself,
ik heb 2 kijkers.
on the stage.
Welcome.
But simply because of, you know, slight changes in how I was used to sitting.
It's just not your home setup, and that's going to be naturally difficult for any player.
No
matter how much in-person or LAN experience they might actually have underneath their belt. But one thing that I always find a little bit fun talking with some of the players, even yesterday and in the player lounge, it's asking them what are their kind of like little tips and tricks. I want to know how many of them like taking their shoes off, for example, because it's just that extra little safety net of just, hey, I feel more like I'm at my in-home environment.
Yeah, 100%. And this is all like, I know it sounds like, oh, take your shoes off. That's like a joke right now. This is legitimately, man. Like when a player is comfortable, they will perform better. It's proven. Why don't we hang out with we got with Tokata, Mini Miner? Are you guys in the player area?
We are indeed, Zeke. Now, some of these players might have their shoes off, but we've got our thinking hats on about this.
Black Gold Strike. Yes, yes.
2 days of Fortnite action. I'm excited. We're going to be breaking everything down tomorrow and today, of course. But how excited are you?
Look, I'm incredibly excited, right? There's so many storylines that have yet
Shut
to be
the
built,
fuck up
right?
and start the fucking match.
Going against European
Black Gold Strike
right?
eats ass.
But really looking for ass. You have to search for ass.
North, closer to Logjam, and then down at the Synapse Station, Joe and Ziandi, which are no longer contested because now Baka and On1 have moved up north to Mr. Savage and his duo's drop spot. I mean, there's a lot of action to unfold. Mini, I'm excited.
I'm super excited as well, but things can change, of course. You know, we know how these drops are maybe going to form. We see some people moving around.
Welcome, welcome, people. This is the Underground OnlyFans. Come on, eat ass. Zo, die mensen wat in de doeken nou.
That's what I love about Fortnite, right? You never know what's actually going to happen, right? You might be able to see the drop map, see what these duos have planned ahead of time, but who knows? Maybe they have a not so great game one, and then they have to change.
Ik had zo'n podcast van Keizer. Heeft hij die gaat met OnlyFans. Dat is dan een chick. Gewoon met kleren, hè? Wel sexy, bikini en lingerie. Maar met allemaal domstroop, jam, smeert ze zichzelf helemaal in. Dat vinden de mannen helemaal geweldig. Dat betalen ze van. Check het. Wat nasty.
Bro, I'm right there with you, man. I just cannot wait to see all of the action unfold before our very eyes. We're almost there. Just a
few moments later.
Battle bus on its journey.
1 hour later.
To highlight another duo, Cammy and Seti, right? For you longtime EU fans as well, you know these guys recently just won a DreamHack. They literally came in first and second place in a solos competition. They were the best 2 players at the tournament.
Kijk wat voor chakjes dat allemaal zijn, hè? En dat zijn die gasten die... Ja, ze zullen wel niet toxic doen, denk ik. Maar...
They're not going to go for anything too flashy, anything too risky. They're just going to play their game out and play that top 10, top 5 consistent.
Ja, maar onze... Hij is gay.
Yeah, the infamous.
Ben je flikken of ben je homo? Ben je homo flikken? Alle onderduikers gaan we vinden.
I'm curious to see how their surge management actually unfolds throughout the entirety of chapter 3. I don't think they really had too many issues with it, but
hey, deze mensen klappen ons gewoon met een handpistool.
They don't really like fighting early, and well, fortunately, having an uncontested drop back can definitely feed into that. So naturally, you want to wonder where their points are going to come from, where their surge management is going to come from, and I think that that is something that they're largely just going to have to control throughout their mid game.
Yeah, they also have to be very, very careful
when that's right now.
There are a lot of teams landing around them, especially when we think about tilted towers right to the left of kind of where they're landing, and then also center map. You know, Cold and Sentinel are expected to be contested there at that loot lake kind of area. So if any of those teams kind of want to disengage from some of those early spawn fight situations, they could easily run over to the split that Cammy and Seti are looking to take, and maybe gather up some loot themselves, which could force a fight. And that's really disadvantageous for Cammy and Seti because they're going to be split, right? They're at these split drops, so they're usually off on their own.
And I think what you're getting at is adaptability, right? Yeah. Duels being able to moment say, we had a game plan, we did not find the chest, we did not find the thing, we got tagged, someone has pushed on our like location, we need to change up something. What does that look like, man, right? Like, if this was
Here, ik zie op Google, hè. You can buy each skin for 800 V-Bucks each, or if you want, you can grab the full FNCS Invitational 2022 bundle voor 2300 V-Bucks. Dan krijg je speciale dingen die hun hebben nu.
I mean, listen, you're bringing up a great point there, right? Like, how? You don't have many notes on a lot of these teams because they're just around for the entire world, right? And that's why international events are held at such a high praise because they're just straight up hard. The competition from all around the world, it's harder to play against people that you don't normally play against.
Hier binnen kan je toch ook dingen kopen en zo.
Weet ik niet, man. Je moet er.
I think that is going to be a really crucial aspect for some of
these for je challenge bedoel je?
We know that these players have been climbing bot review leading up to today.
Ja, dan moet je die coin kopen. Dan moet je boven op het scherm zit zo'n gele munt. Die moet je pakken, krijg je, dat is een challenge. En dan moet je 1 keer boxfight, moet je een paar keer bouwen. Aan de achterkant kan je met een trappetje via links, waar je niet loopt. Naar achteren moet je naar boven gaan, die munt. En dan moet je boxfight 1 ronde doen en je moet 1 keer een ronde doen met schieten. Dus je moet even je 1 training soort van doen en dan krijg je punten. Krijg je munt en met die munt kan je weer een andere munt kopen.
So close, so many times. Paired up with Acorn. Look, we know this duel is absolutely incredible. They're some of the toppest caliber.
Fucking 14 minuten, bro. Het ding is nog niet eens begonnen.
Edgy just hasn't been able to grasp that #1 spot. For me to come out of this event and say, I'll walk away with the Swarovski trophy, baby. That'd be pretty sweet.
Look at Edgy waving. What's up, Edgy? Listen.
Benji.
Edgy loves it, man. You know, we're laughing at him getting, second place 4 times. He himself, last battle. Look at I wonder where he's landed. He has the picture himself there. We've seen it a couple times now. Tilted Towers. And look, they were being real confident coming into this event. Unfortunately, they are contested by a plethora of other teams over at Tilted Towers. I really think that if they were uncontested, they could probably run away with this event. We'll have to see what happens. I still think it's possible.
Heb je hem gepakt, die mint?
Yeah. I was watching Acorn, yesterday, last night, even into the later night, 10, 11 o'clock. He was still VOD reviewing all the way up until then. So I love to see the practice coming out of this duo.
But it's the fact that there's 5 duos at Tilted Towers, and literally none of them are willing to budge from this spawn. They all want their piece of the pie here at Tilted Towers, and whether or not this engagement could end up being worthwhile for the duo that even walks away, because when you think about it, Vivid, there might have to be a ton of resources expended.
Yeah, we cannot forget. Here they are, Queasy Vino. We talked about them at the beginning of the show, and like a circle, we find ourselves back at the beginning. I mean, what more could we possibly say about this duo? They basically been winning everything as of late. Queasy is looking in absolute top form. Vino has been crushing it. He's ready to go.
You want to know something? So I used to be a professional player. Now I'm an analyst, right? Both are very heavy when it comes to the VOD reviews.
Dan moet je winnen of zo.
Nee, je hoeft niet te winnen volgens mij.
I love it. It's awesome.
Ik had wel gewonnen toevallig met boxfight. Maar volgens mij hoeft hij niet te winnen. Je moet een paar keer bouwen alleen.
Because I've been at the top before, right? You know what I mean? I've seen pretty much everything that these players can do.
You're still first in our hearts.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Vino, I VOD reviewed him for this event. This is an international event. I'm typically on the NAE side of things, but let me dabble in EU so that way I'm prepared for this event. I'm watching Vino. Individually, like I said, I've never been impressed. I was impressed. He seems so clean. Every single action that he does, it seems like it has a purpose. And I genuinely have never seen that out of an individual player, ever.
There's a reason why he's often regarded as one of the best fraggers in Fortnite competitive history right now. And not only that, but he's got a perfect IGL to match that. Queasy is notorious for being an absolute genius for his IGLing. And I think something that I love about Queasy is that his stats also speak for themselves, because you don't go the past 7 seasons getting a victory royale dating all the way back to Chapter 2, Season 6 without being a consistent IGLer. He just knows how to stay cool, calm and collected in
Wat? Je moet kijken bij je challenge. Als je bij Quest kijkt.
Right? A lot of these dudes are going to be making a lot of calls. Queasy, what he is known for is his very clean, high ground takes. It just always seems so methodical and flawless whenever he does it. So the pairing is very, very well. But then that's not even like one of the most exciting parts is they always seem to find those mid-game dead side rotations that work out so well that keep them alive into the game very consistently.
And it's kind of like having a silver bullet, right? You have Vino there ready to go. If you're Queasy, you're thinking, okay, I need to go accomplish this goal. I'm going to point my silver bullet in the direction. There's an enemy over there I don't like. Vino, why don't you just go 1v2 them for us and then bring their loot and ammo back and builds, and then I'm going to be up on high ground, okay? I'll see you in 30 seconds. So that's not a joke.
I'm laughing because, 1v2s, right? They seem impossible, especially on the international stage. But no, like, literally, Vino, he just does it so often, and I cannot...
Okay, shooting gallery.
That's right.
Guess what? The shooting gallery.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fans, we're ready.
Het gaat beginnen.
Okay. So let's do this. It's game number 1.
Eerste potje, game number 1.
Okay.
Here we go. It is time. Is one just big moment away from really kicking it off. All that preparation. We're gonna have to put it into it.
Hoe kom je aan die stoel?
Ah, ja, die heb ik. Ik weet niet, dus dat die heb je zou je ook wel hebben. Anders.
Nee, ik heb het niet.
27 different countries are represented. 88 different champions. Overall, this is just
waar staat hij bij?
Gewoon bij je dansjes.
Bij emotes.
Put
Ja. Zo, bij het begin gaat iedereen eruit. Eerst stop.
Know what's in store for us. It's going to be an incredible amount of action as we know there are so many.
Jonas, gaan we landen?
Yeah, and already looking at the trophy tab, one of the biggest ones is going to be over towards Rave Cave, where you have Commandment and Avery, the most recent NA East FNCS champions. They're a little contested. Not going to be a hot fight right out of the gates against Thomas, HD, and Trippin, because right now they're just getting that early game done and ready.
That's right, and it is going to be so important for everyone who is contested to take and walk in the path of caution. You cannot allow yourself to make any risk. I'll bet Chrome Jam
Tilted is ook druk. Zo.
on top of each other. Tilted Towers, remember, 5 duos contesting this area, some of which are the most
5 duo's zijn hier geland.
Noah Riley, Acorn, Edgy, Babs, and Snacky just at the south.
That's such a stack stage. You might as well call that the Legends Land. Let me tell you, but Steve, Snacky over on the side, you're talking about Bad Sniper as well, but one of our hottest drops with EU's biggest names, Cloudy, Kondo,
Elke plek gaan we op een paar teams gewoon.
It looks like it's going to be Malibuka and Merstash on the ground first.
Malibuka, of course, representing for Russia, Merstash for Latvia. We got Aqua here and Rezon, our high ground kings. One of the most respected set of duos right here. If they really cut loose, they make endgame, it's over. You're gonna see Aqua playing for that big high ground play. And look at how they are respecting the area. Everyone making sure they are solidified.
Ze hakken letterlijk alles gewoon gelijk. Overal waar ze lopen, hakken ze alles kapot.
Already. A green prime, a blue Evo Chrome burst. He's ready to pack a punch at a moment's notice. He's probably waiting for Merstash to probably give him the go-ahead. But another inter-regional battle over towards Grim Cable.
Now what's crazy about this, I got to sit down with Muzz and Looter. They are feeling exceptionally confident in beating Larson and Smite. But you have to put yourself into this kind of position right now. There's pressure all around you. To me, it's looking like Larson and Smite have the advantage right now. Just take a look at the focus right here, right? This little bit of high ground, they have them almost trapped down below.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now, Larson is a little bit separated from Smite. That is a little bit towards low.
Overal, waar ze zijn geland, is nog geen één fight geweest.
Second of separation to kind of do one of these teams in as Marine and Vico over here towards Reality Tree. Another contested drop. But you can see this is only game number 1. Nobody wants to put it all on the line just yet.
Ja, dit is begonnen. Eentje nog.
Taking down a ton of damage on the Muzz. Looter trying to back him up, and it looks like they got the first elimination of FNCS.
Down goes Larson, and the quick finish for Looter. OCE gets to claim the first on the show today. It's Smite now, left with the pressure of the world on his shoulders. Can he escape these OCE players? It doesn't look very possible. We all know.
Zo. Oh, er zat iemand voor mijn beeld altijd.
And deadliest when it comes down to these engagements, and they're hip to hip right now.
Yeah, Smite right now, he has to figure out a way to just really stay alive, and it looks like Muzz and Looter, they're trying to decide right now, Monster, do you continue to try to fight against Smite as he's looking to try to get that reboot card onto Larson as the third-party shots are beginning to come in from the distance. And that's the thing, you know as well as I do, any drop that's contested and you have that early game fight, and especially it builds just like this, there are so many teams that are going to look at you to get their surge.
Now in the past, Smite has been known to walk away with at least one elim in every single major game. This time might actually break his streak that he's been on, but Muzz and Looter, take a look at the respect here to play cautious, take their time, and not overcommit even in the 2v1. That's the respect, but let's get to the real battle. Cloudy Kondo, Tayson, Chapix taking on this big duo toe-to-toe. It's Merstash and Malibuka, who have a 73%, 78% win ratio when contested. The odds are not looking good. The third party in the distance, Aqua's up on high ground. They're positioning for the fight.
Yeah, Rezon A and Aqua, they have that high ground, just put damage onto 2 different players.
Zo, van zo'n afstand.
Met de hammer, hè?
Ja, maar een grijs ook.
They're trying to take control of that POI, but all 3 teams are here. But you got to keep notice while all the action is going down.
Hij krijgt ook met die groene terug.
Crazy how they fight back. They are not just allowing this team to third party them. Reason gets super hurt there, and it looks like the battles in the distance get to conclude. But here and now, this fight rages on here. Reason all of a sudden has such an advantageous position.
Hij had gewoon zijn SMD liggen verder.
The entire team is
And it does
En nog een
look
paar
like
zo.
NA West, Baka and On1 have solidified Chrome Jam Junction to themselves. Down goes Mr. Savage. Down goes iDrop. NA West, make some noise.
That's right. And now for Jace in Basel, another team that was contested in the
Iemand gaat los aan die zaal.
situation. They've won themselves some space.
Kijk die afstand.
Look at the storm surge tags here as they start to fight back the teams that are out
Met een hammer.
edges here. What a great spot to be, especially with the zone.
Ik zie, weet je hoeveel mensen ik zie met die hammer?
Ja, allemaal.
Ja.
Whoa, a big fight though. On one gets back. That's the replay there. I love that we got to catch that.
And you can see the strategy coming out from On1 and Bak. They switched up their drop shots this weekend. It's not like they've been practicing there all season long. They're just adapting on the fly. As you see Booga, Mero, we already talked about that uncontested drop spot of Chonkers Speedway. The zone is kind of above them, and they're one of those teams that just wastes no time trying to figure out what that game plan is. They're going to try to get to zone and then worry about surge when all those other teams that are south and east of them have to go past them.
And the Middle Eastern, one of the few representatives of the Middle East community here, and Andalex, what a monumental task to step up here and for the first time ever compete with a duo. So we love to see what we have going on here. So much representation of all of our spaces. You know what I saw, which was in the feed as well? Japan versus Brazil. Looks like Peppo found one too. So little exchanges. As now we jump over to Vino and Queasy, some of the best at Shiny Sound.
Yep, you see them just going for their own.
Ze hebben allemaal hammers.
En een goede aim ook.
Ja man, wat zie je in die hammer dat ik niet zie?
Veel spelen ook met Prime.
Ja. Een Prime en een hammer. That's it.
Janice is the only European player to have ever picked up an FNCS in solos, trios, and duos. 3 different game modes, such a decorated team that we have together. That's our German powerhouse. As we jump over to Anas and Pink, what a team right now. Remember, they were contesting Clicks and Duke down at the Jones.
Deze heb jou shotgun.
Might have slowed down for them. They've been a bit more passive. There's a single elim though, right inside there too, so that's a pickup.
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams today, this is just game number 1. The nerves right now, they're just feeling each other out, trying to figure out how everybody's playing, and then they're going to adapt as soon as this one gets at least towards the mid game, probably towards the end game. It's going to get.
Ik denk ook als je in zo'n toernooi zit, in zo'n zaal, ben je sneller nerveus toch?
Ja.
Druk is veel te hoog.
I love that you say that because what they have that the other teams don't. Tons of accessibility to the metal. You see how their metal resources really starting to cap out there. Tayson and Chapix though, they're going to give up the drop. They say, hey,
ja, dat is niks voor mij man daar. Als ik daar zit, de veiligheid moet er mij eruit trekken, want ik ga helemaal race quitten daar. Doet die een van die gasten nog een dansje ook, hè? Dat was zo toxic als dat gilt ook. Loop gelijk naar zijn tafeltje toe.
Materials that you use when really trying to defend yourself. As Zagu and Merrim just kind of looting up the greasy deal left behind. And there's actually a lot of the teams that landed in Rave Cave, a little bit north, that are trying to rotate toward this slower side of zone. And right now, everybody are just stuck in zone because nobody wants to bite off more than they can chew.
This is our current reigning champions of the Japanese.
Serieus? Die blijft gewoon zo lang in de storm.
Asia region here. Now we jump over to Ed and King. One of the most explosive duos. We talked about Ed's history, how much he's really risen.
Die speelt niet eens met de AR, die speelt gewoon met die.
They have such a fun history here. They have engaged against one another multiple times in FNCS in seasons past. Now they get to play together.
Yeah, kind of rotating all the way from north, Chrome Jam Junction. They find themselves
Kom op boys, push elkaar.
A team that has so much experience, but years ago, now reuniting for the Invitational, Macwood and Kanata. And let me tell you, in some of those practice games, Monster, that uncontested drop spot that Kanata and Macwood had.
Healings voor deze jongen, die ene gast.
They got first place in scrims, and now they're here to try to replicate that on the biggest stage.
Only 2 duos have fallen, and now another steps into the position here to possibly take a fight. But no, Bevies and Vortex are know a little bit better. They're going to land right behind Chappies. They find Tayson out by himself, a great shot here, and now he steps up, but smarter to go ahead and defensively poise up here. No need to get too in.
Yeah, not just yet, at least. You can't really get too busy too early. There's so many players that right now, you see 95 left alive. When Storm Surge actually activates Monster, this is probably going to be one of the most scariest things I've seen in Fortnite in quite a while.
That is true, and Devs and Vortex are really considering peeking out. Now, one thing we spoke about with the
jammer dat we dit jaar er niet bij konden zijn, want bij ons team genoeg.
You can do it here in the early game kind of situation while you have some time, but while we have some time, let's just go ahead and catch up with Minimine.
Hey, irritant man, elke keer denk ik komen mensen bij hun aanvliegen. Maar zijn die mensen in ons beeld?
We're going to be taking a look at North Shiny Sounds, where we have a fan favorite duo, Queasy and Vino. I find it interesting how they were playing split up here. Queasy was on the low ground, taking shots from opposing duos, but Vino up above on the balloon was able to get free tags on the opposing duos that were looking at Queasy, and having this split mentality in the drop spot is crucial for getting those free tags and able to set yourself up for that late game.
An amazing breakdown there, Jacob.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't really mention it. Did you see the 18 splashes on him? Yeah. These guys are ready for that.
Splashes.
If you have that much heals, that's going to allow you, if you are down on Surge, to kind of handle it. Fabs and Stacky, FNCS champions from NA West, hurting on Storm Surge right now, trying to get themselves back up. But it does look like the fight, maybe the dust have settled, and this is the aftermath that you see. Yeah, Fabs does have one elimination, 36 above the damage threshold. Even though right now they have a little bit of comfortability, that threat is still looming in the back of their minds.
That's right, and they rolled up, they took down a team there, and now they get to go ahead and reap the rewards. They needed those tags, but that's not going to be enough. There's a little bit more in front of them. A team that's well below the Surge right now, our full Middle Eastern duo, Spy and Focus, are sitting here, and it's not looking too hot. 220 damage below. I had so much time to catch up with Spy. He is an incredible, and I mean incredible player, but this is one of those decisions that you have to make now. No O'Reilly. Fight. There's no easy one. Now we have EU versus NA West. No O'Reilly, bad sniper, Epic Will, and Reed on the other side of the wall.
This one is going to get close because Reed, I already talked about, he loves to fight. Epic Will loves to fight as well, but Epic Will is also that IGL, that 6-time champion. He knows when and where to pick his battles in every single one of these situations. So he's probably talking to him right now, get the pre-edit ready, but he's 137 below. This is why they're not abandoning the fight. They have damage to do.
Epic Will and Reed have around a 70+% win ratio when taking on these early game fights.
Zag heel snel die naar boven ging.
Ja.
Abnormaal.
That is going to be inevitable damage in the coming seconds. So this is why this fight's so important. Down comes the Chunk Heal. They're just going to run and sit there, try to get as much health as possible. Meanwhile, in the distance, Threats and Alice are starting to put shots in. So this is not a fight that's not being interfered with. Reed's going to fall first. Epic Wheels by himself. Shots come in. Noah Riley wastes no time. They pounce in, and they're hunting now. Reed's on the run. Shots from the side. Who will steal away this elimination?
Nee, dan krijg je ook even een pomp op zijn bakken.
It is, they close things up and finish it off quickly, and just like that, EU comes out on top.
Oh my god, but the action is just all over. Basil, Chase, they're out as well. That's Pinkin and us who pick up 2 more. And I even saw moments ago that Booga went down. The elimination feed is just lighting up. Pars and Rays go down as well. This one is getting active very fast, but that's because of the Storm Surge. But this is something I feel like all of us preface just a little bit. Handling that Storm Surge is going to be so important throughout these 12 games.
Kanata and Macwood take down Booga and Miro in the feed. It's done. It is wrapped. Meanwhile, Asia's champions are finding some too, but KBR and Z, representing for Brazil, are here, and they need more tags. Just 8 above. Well played for them to go ahead and find a few to keep them in the game, but let's get on over to that fight that is inevitably gonna continue. Tayson versus Chapix.
This is exactly what happened with Split It, though. They split that drop spot. They weren't able to get the early damage. Down goes Chapix. Tayson under pressure. HP getting dropped, and there he goes. Back to the lobby. Vadil and Janice do it again.
From teammates to enemies, Janice takes down Tayson. Just like that, it is over. Now, we jump on over to On1 and Baka. 3 elims, NA West. One of the few hopes for NA West this weekend right here. Talk to me about how they managed to surge over Mr. Savage and I drop it. Now they're picking it up.
Just honestly talking to them before this as they were preparing, and when they finally made that decision to switch up their drop spot, they had a choice. Do you contest Hen and Vortex? Do you contest Joe and Zandy? They said no. They want to take one of the biggest names in Europe. They want to go against Mr. Savage and iDrop, and already it's proving to be fruitful on one coming from Mexico.
Zo, hoeveel geld krijgt die man, die commentator, kerel? Die lult veel, jongen. Hij krijgt per woorden betaald. Shit. Die is low.
Finding beautiful attacks here, holding the team out on the side. Meanwhile, Vadil and Janice look like they have finally made it from outside the storm line. Tough spot to be in. You have a lot of water here.
Schiet die Nuno Silva, die vliegt naar beneden, voor je neus.
Starting to happen. Meanwhile, on the other side, some of the NA East best, Edgy and Acorn. Now what's cool about this duo here is that Edgy and Acorn quite literally said, hey, the better the lobby skill-wise, the better I will perform. That is how much experience he's picked up in the past from practicing against the best of the best lobby.
And already, if you look at their loot right now, that 5-team contestation coming out of Tilted Towers, honestly, didn't do too much. 256 above the damage threshold as well. Shots fire off onto Jew. He goes down. Elimination's going to be cleaned up to Acorn. They get 2 to their total. And his teammate, U3, goes down as well. That's going to be Vadil. No, Riley picking up some more eliminations as well.
What a quick way to finish that one off. And there's a problem here. We have Bogdan on one sitting on the walls. If NA East champions are most recent of Avery and Command, you can see they've actually taken a lot of damage here. They were just below the surge quite a bit ago. And yes, more damage is starting to come in. It's only a matter of time now for them. They will have to take a fight. That's no easy fight on the other side of the wall, but first tags there are going to go to the side of the NA East boys.
Yeah, Onwon and Baka right now, they just need to play their game. They are down on Storm Surge in terms of commandment.
Ze hielden niet eens vol, hè?
Klopt.
Ze bewaren zoveel mogelijk.
If they would have just waited a little bit longer, Storm Surge would have had these guys almost down and out, and they could have easily cleaned those up. But right, they're just playing safe. They just want to go ahead and make it towards their end game, because this is one of the teams. They finished second in the last FNCS of NA West. They know how to fight with the best of them.
This is what it's all about. We show up for big moments like this. Can you step up to the plate? We are just moments away from the game becoming extremely difficult. The zone is only getting tighter and tighter. And take a look at how many players have huge pressure, rapid and endless now. And they have Clicks and Duke sitting above them. Macwin and Kanata starting to look down as well. They're off to a hot start. That is one of the teams to look out for. Meanwhile, a single Elim already for Clicks on the other side. So they survived the drop. A huge shot. Clicks finds a one. They're on to Andalect in the finish. 2. Clicks and Duke managed to get 2 more eliminations. Oh my gosh.
Hey, you got to give him credit, though. He said it himself. He has that World Cup experience, teamed with an FNCS champion in Duke, his first time in an in-person event, and he's already loving the environment. Even though he didn't take that off-spawn fight, it was so that he can make it toward this end game and continue to do things like that.
Alice and Threats, they're communicating with a translator between them. NA East and Japan playing with each other, but hold up. Vadil, Janice, this is a problem. One of our favorites. When you look online, you look at Twitter, you look at what everyone is putting together for a top 10 list. You expect this team to do so well in game 1 and already broken apart.
Yeah, Janice was down.
Ze moeten 12 games doen.
Kunnen we een blikje energy gewoon pakken?
Dash and Malabuka, another one of those teams towards Cloudy Condos who are nobody really fired off spawn. They got some tags and left, 31 below. The pressure is on. They're so close to zone, but they can't necessarily
doe maar een
because they have to worry about Storm Surge.
Doe maar dan een kassus.
31 below. Not looking good, Jacob. Tags are coming in. Clock is ticking. They do have heals. They can survive for a little bit more, but you hear the shots raging everywhere as the lobby turns online. But Dio fires back. He catches Macwood in the feed.
Ik zie af en toe van die roze bliksem.
Ja man, dat zie ik ook. Voor sommige mensen, maar het is voor mij pickaxe.
Turning the story around. Box fighters literally made his name known for taking on fights and destroying players across Europe. Let's take a look at that one more time.
Yep, you see Vadil just kind of peeking through the cone.
Hoppa.
Kijk hoeveel mensen nog buiten met die cirkel meelopen, hè?
Ja, klopt.
Kijk nu hoeveel mensen nu daar zijn.
Another favorite to probably take the top spot here in this event.
Op de kleine map bedoel je toch?
Ja, die kleine map.
Ja, maar zo zie je hoeveel mensen bij elkaar zitten. Kijk dit. Dat zit dadelijk allemaal op en in elkaar dadelijk.
Het lijkt me wel leuk hoor, om te spelen zo.
Oh.
Daar leer je echt wel veel van.
Late game arena. Wat moet je dan doen?
Ja, maar dat is niet zoals dit. Ja. Niet zo heftig als dit.
Dat hebben we wel in de divisie 10. We hebben ook een beetje zo. Ja, of je moet die cup doen, hè. Maar dan moet je een keer kijken of zo'n cup duo bijvoorbeeld voor PlayStation alleen. Dan doen we PlayStation alleen, snap je?
Ja.
Maar dan krijg je nog goede mensen hoor, maar dat krijg je ook dit. Dan moet je zoveel mogelijk punten halen.
Ja.
Maar je krijgt weinig hoor. Ik heb een keer zo'n cup gedaan. Dan krijg je 1 punt voor elimination. En voor elke zone die je haalt, is ook 1. Ga ik ze allemaal eromheen vliegen.
But he still has some movement to work with. You can see him speaking to the cone, gathering that information. He has a launch pad as well. He can easily try to find his way through, but there's so many players stacked all around him. They don't want to make it easy. But 28 above the damage threshold. He's not only looking for the perfect rotation, he's looking for the players to put
Godverdomme.
to Peppo. Whoa, Asia on height now too. This is big. That's something you did not expect. But Vino and Queezer are now looking up, take the side to go for it. They land on top of Asia, and it's all or nothing now. Vino fights for it. The wall gets edited. It's not quite his. It's a battle on all fronts here. Can they win it off? And he does.
Iedereen zit te strijden voor die high ground.
Have managed to fight back for high ground in the first game of the FNCS Invitation. Yep, and it goes hard to the beat. Vidil and Janice, their run came to an end. Vico picking up a Nas and Merstash. Two different players as Alice is trying to break through. 118 below the damage threshold. He knows he cannot stay in one place too long. Trying to reunite with Threats, but he goes down as well. Storm Surge really eating these guys alive. Alice has to do something, but the options are so thin. He doesn't.
Hé, er lag iemand nog, zag je dat?
Ja.
In het gras.
Still going wild. He's below, but that siphon coming through just in the nick of time to keep on alive. He is alive. He takes down the run, steps into the zone, and look at this. A huge pickup now. That's going to buy him more time. That could be the absolute difference. Meanwhile, Seti and Cammy playing their game.
We moeten met die storm mee.
High ground has Queasy and Vino. Logren has Chicho and Trulix playing and leading the front side of zone. There's not a player in sight. Clicks is still alive now, working his way through. He has lost his teammate. The full finish comes through. It might be all or nothing now. He still has so much left in the tank. Yeah, but I'm not too worried about him because of him and Duke's high placement last FNCS was because of solo clutches from that man himself. And talk about solos. Joe gets one as Andy goes down. Shots coming in.
Ja, hij moet wel door de storm gaan om met te pakken en alles.
To the front side of zone, but it's a hard journey trying to find it. 12 HP, continuing to drop. Shots still coming in. He's going to find a moment of an oasis to try to stabilize and figure out what's the next play. Cammy and Seti find their way to the high ground. Down goes Clicks to the hands of Cammy. That's a huge one. Hello, Vino. You have to turn and run. Cammy wants to hear nothing about that noise right there. Meanwhile, Seti's keeping eyes on the general area. Very solid. Chicho fighting his way, but no. An edit comes through. It's Zagu and Mareem, who's right above them there. Our FNCS champions of Asia are still here. Down goes Pamstu as well. What a huge elimination here. The top 7 duos alive. 11 players total left in this game. One of them being Seti and Cammy towards the high ground. The analyst desk called it. These guys don't play too many early game fights. They wait for this end game and for every opportunity. But Acorn, he's trying to sneak some extra points. He has the med miss sitting in the zone. Vino doing the same, but he's almost all out of opportunity. This is absolutely what you expect of the best players in the world coming together for this invitational here to have this opportunity to step up to the plate, represent for your region. This is what it's all about. Vino.
Oh, zijn landen natuurlijk. De beste die worden uitgenodigd van per land. Boega is volgens mij van Engeland, toch?
Tenna, kan je de oplader vragen aan Haley?
remember, he can slip through any one of these now. Becoming desperate.
He's just trying to reinforce a little bit of the builds that are around him.
Hij is slim. Hij gooide die paarse dingen allemaal, zodat hij er doorheen kan rennen dadelijk.
Only 2 HP, no men miss left. He's gonna have to try to find a siphon here, but no, he gets dropped. Acorn finds another one from the outside of zone.
7 elims for Mareem and Zagu, representing for Asia here, looking great. Yumi and Cool are getting one step closer now to taking this fight. A huge shout out to Mareem.
Thank you,
as he plays defensively, but Zagu is here to back him up. They're going hand in hand. The fight breaks out. They clap back down. Oh my gosh! Steps up to the plate. We are now down to 3 duos in the end game, 2 solos and a duo up top.
Carrying that momentum from last season's FNCS, but he has so much more work to do. Seti and Cammy, the only duo left in the game is Acorn staying alive. Still 4 eliminations on the back of Cool, trying to find his way through. But there's, like I said, there's only 1 duo team, and they have the high ground and the recipe for success.
You cannot write a better story for becoming legends. Seti is fighting back. Cammy is fighting back. They're looking to get inside. There goes the Elam they were looking for. Just 1 player separates them, but Acorn will not survive. And Seti and Cammy take game number 1.
Poland is the first country to take on
Polen, eerste ronde gewonnen.
FNCS Invitational stage. These guys have came to play through and through.
What a fair
Je ziet gelijk vuurwerk, hè?
Ja.
Ja, zullen we maar...
Ja, ja.